I don't really know how to go about this video because I'm a bit self-conscious about the topic at hand, and I'm only self-conscious about it because I usually move on from people pretty quickly. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I usually, like, if you're shitty to me, I let you go, I drop you, and that's literally it. Like, you're never gonna hear from me again. If you do, it'll probably be just for closure, but other than that, like, I'm gone. Or I'll show a lot of anger because I don't want to talk to you and you're like forcing my hand. But I've been thinking about my past connections, plural, it's multiple. And I just keep like romanticizing the past, like, wow, like that was such a good connection. No, no, it wasn't. But I guess like with with the new year either, approaching when you're watching this video or um it recently just passed. I feel like it's very fitting that I'm having like this like major like closure moment. I existed before you, I can exist after you. But yeah, that's just something that I've been thinking about like with exes, romantic and platonic. But it's just like I think that's how I know that I'm truly coping and like finding closure. Because I first react out of not anger, but rather disappointment and rejection. Like, I feel like the way that I react to like a falling out, romantic or otherwise. Sorry, I keep wanting to burp and it's like stupid timing. I feel like whenever I react to a falling out, at first, romantic or otherwise, it'll always be frustration and disappointment. And it's like, why would you treat me like that? Or why didn't I show up as the best version of myself in this connection, right? Um, and then it leads to anger because then I realize like how wrong I was done, like I realize like I should have been treated better. And then it's like it's the stages of grief basically. It's like then I accept it and then all the good memory all all like the better memories kind of come in and then they start like possessing my brain. And with it's just it's a little bit strange, I guess, coping with it. Um And this whole time I've been acting as if it's not a big deal, but it is. It is a big deal. No, X anything, any falling out with anybody is a big deal. But I just wish it wasn't because why couldn't I just like feel the impact of the hurt and then just move on, But no, instead I'm still thinking about you like months later. Um, and it's even worse when I'm realizing that like these people don't care to send me an apology. They really don't. And then on the other hand, I'm nervous to send an apology for my personal wrongdoings, for my personal missteps, because they're the type of people that would like, if I open a tunnel of communication, they're going to take advantage of that and like want to be my friend again and like want to like basically just infiltrate again, And I don't want that. So I'm in this sticky situation where like having falling outs with people who are genuinely so insecure. Sorry, not insecure. Well, maybe insecure, but I don't know. I meant immature. Like when you have a falling out with people who are just so immature and you know that they grasp onto things, like that that's just their nature. They like when they are letting go of things, there's claw marks on them. Not in like the cutesy like I'm trying my hardest. No, in like the unsolicited Amazon purchases type of way. Or in the awkward multiple emails type of way. It's like, or the Venmo comments type of way. It's like, that's not effort. That's you not letting me go. Like, I've expressed that I don't feel comfortable around you as a person because of how you've treated me. And the way that you're not letting me go is kind of creepy. But anyways, so that's my fear. It's like if I were to open up a channel of communication to apologize for my side of the shit, it would just escalate into something worse. And then also, there's also another part of it where it's like, I feel like I shouldn't be the one apologizing first. You know what I mean? But maybe I shouldn't care about that, because that's one part of it where it's like, is that ego? I think that's called ego. And it's like, I guess I shouldn't, because I think true healing comes from the place of which your ego doesn't really control, you know? Like, I think it's definitely more selfless healing, which is strange because healing is like a personal endeavor, you know? But forgiving is selfless because it requires you to drop your ego into like level with them. And that's so hard because I hold on to grudges. I really do. I really do. I blame my Scorpio Venus for that. But no, I really do. I really do hold on to grudges because I hold on to them until I get an apology. If I get an apology, everything's fine. Then, like, everything's fine and you will never hear from me ever again. You're probably never even going to think about me. I'm not going to possess your frontal lobe. Okay? You're never going to have dreams about me ever again. Like, if you apologize to me, like, the curse is broken. That's what it feels like, honestly. But no, it's just like, it's just strange being here and being like, oh, I'm like living without them, but I can still learn from them. Like a falling out that I've had recently, my most recent breakup. At times recently, I keep like thinking of like the stuff that he's taught me and the stuff that I've gained from being in his life for that short period of time, even though he did leave a few scars on me, like emotional emotional scars, not physical. Oh my lord. I could still genuinely like wholeheartedly say like he taught me some good stuff. Like I still carry a lot of his wisdom with me, even if he ended up being like, despite carrying his wisdom with me still, like I could still acknowledge that he treated me horribly. He treated me horribly. Like he was just not a good person to me. And I don't know if he'll ever grow from that, but yeah, no, he was not a good person to me. Shut up. It's very heartbreaking because it's such a complex emotion to have, you know, like acknowledging like, oh, this person did teach me some good things. Like they actually did fundamentally like have good wisdom that I still live by to this day, but they treated me like shit. Like, and it's just really sad because you put all this faith into someone and now all that faith is gone because they've shown you their genuine true colors. Like they've shown you how reckless they could be. And reckless people are not reliable. You cannot trust them. Reckless people are not trustworthy people. You just can't do that to yourself. Like if, and by reckless, I just mean like someone who obviously doesn't have a good grasp on their self-control. Like genuinely selfish. Like maybe not selfish, self-interested. I don't know how to really describe it, but self-interested I feel like is more detail-oriented and like everything that they do is so that they're in the best place and that you are second, which like on paper that sounds like a good thing for a people pleaser to do, right? Like a recovering people pleaser. But for someone who's not a people pleaser and for someone who's just ignore the notifications, I'm actually gonna throw my phone out the window. Anyways, but for someone who's like not a people pleaser, if you just keep treating people in like the most like self-interested way, it shows. It shows. It really does show. Like with, unfortunately, like what my ex would do would be like speeding. He would speed. And it's like he wasn't thinking about me. He was thinking about his impatience. He was thinking about getting somewhere. And there's like other traumatic, that's not really traumatic. The driving isn't traumatic, but like there's like other things that were traumatic that did show a lot of self-interest. And it's stuff like that where it makes it so confusing. It's like, he genuinely did have good wisdom because he was in therapy at the time, at least. And like he definitely learned a lot from therapy, but other than that, like he was still a very self-interested person. Like there is an ego to him, and it's like he didn't have enough self-control with other things, and that's where the traumatic part comes in. And again, I don't want to go into detail with that, but it was very heavy, and it really like literally his existence and how our breakup went was the reason why I'm like doing the 4B movement now, cuz I just don't want to be around men romantically anymore. Like every single one of them have treated me horribly, except for one of them in high school, freshman year. He was cool, but things didn't work out for like other reasons that weren't fucking traumatic and crazy, you know? But with like every other ex after that, it's like it's been like it just feels like I'm meeting the equivalent of like a serial killer every time. And that's like such a vivid and like horrid um comparison, but it just feels like that at a certain point. It's like when am I going to meet like a normal fucking human being who like doesn't have like blood red flags? Like what is going on here? It was a nail in the coffin for me in my dating life, so we're not going to do that anymore. I'm going to be single until I'm like 45, I think, by choice. I don't want fucking like romantic men around me. Like I'm just gonna have a grudge on like every guy that has a crush on me, I think. And then when it comes to like ex-friends, like it's like low-key more confusing, but for me it's more hate fueled. Like, God, I have so much, like it's gotten to the point, not now, but like in the past, like I want to say like maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, maybe like 3 months ago. It was to the point where I was like, I have so much hate in my heart for this one singular person. I have to let it go, or else it will literally eat me from the inside out. It would destroy me. So I was like, I gotta let go of this fucking anger. Because me holding on to the hope that like this person will give me an apology one day, like 9-page thesis of like, hey, I fucked up and I'm so sorry. And also I'm in therapy now because I obviously really needed it or something, like some form of like awareness, like wishing for that has driven me crazy. It has driven me insane. Also, like if you're someone who visits my channel often, you might notice, maybe, I don't know, that I recently deleted a video off my channel, and that is because it was also a video about an ex person, but I didn't like how I formulated it. It was very, I obviously, like in hindsight, to me, it's obvious that I still didn't process the situation yet. And I even remember making that video so I was so confused during it. I just remember my feelings, but I didn't have the clarity for it yet. So I wish I honestly never released that video, but obviously it was for a reason because people resonated with it. So I'm glad, like whoever saw that video, I'm glad that you did, because it was obviously for a good reason. It seemed like it helped you guys. So I'm glad, but I sometimes wish I didn't even formulate that video at all, because it was just like obviously coming from a place of anger. Maybe not too obvious because I wasn't like lashing out during the video, of course. I wasn't showing any anger, but I can just tell when I'm feeling pretty like reactive in my thought process. And that was definitely what that video was about. Um, that was definitely the undertone of that video. And I don't want that anymore, so I guess I just wanted to come on here and say like maybe it doesn't feel like it. Like if you just recently had a falling out with a friend or a romantic partner, I just want you to know like every single day will get better, especially every single month will get better. And every like 2 months, you're going to realize like, like life really does become less about them and more about me. Like no matter how long you knew the person, it really like one day you will wake up and you'll have a day where you don't think about them in the slightest. And I can say like I'm actually currently reaching that point, and it is the most freeing thing ever because I literally forget that these people exist at this point. And it's so freeing. And like honestly, I hope one day I like forget these people's birthdays and I forget these people's favorite color and I forget these people's addresses, phone numbers, hair color, eye color, and everything will just fade away into the background. Because I could tell you right now, like, I've genuinely forgotten a few of those details already about these people that I'm like referring to in this video. But my whole point isn't really to talk about the people, it's like the experiences of like letting them go, I guess, specifically. But yeah, that's what this video is about. And I hope whoever watches this, I hope this gives you some comfort. Like, it really does get better. You will forget those people. Like, at the end of the day, like, you existed before them. And I'm not trying to say that they weren't super important, but to an extent, they low key were not that important. Like, sometimes, and maybe this sounds a bit egotistical because obviously everyone is special, but at the same time, no one is special. That's like the paradox of it all. So just if you remember that, and if you remember that, like, the reason why you view that person on such like a pedestal isn't because they are all that. Like, I'm sure somewhere they are in someone's reality, but not in yours anymore. But the reason why they were so special is because you were there in those memories. You were there laughing with them. Like, they were so special because you made them special to you. You didn't make them special, like, in general. That's very egotistical, but I hope you know what I mean. Like, you made them special to yourself. And that's why they hold such a pedestal in your mind. And it's the reason why you're having a hard time letting go of them right now. And like some days are definitely easier than others. Like there's days where I like wallow in bed and I'm just like, damn, like why the fuck, like just like reminiscing on like shitty like good memories. I call them shitty good memories because it's like they would be good memories if I was still together with him, but they're shitty good because like now I'm sad. And I guess just like another thing I wanted to leave off on is like I get so embarrassed talking about past people because it's like, how did I let them treat me like that for so long? Like, how did I know them for that? And like, just like, I don't think we truly understand how crazy it is to meet people and then detach from them immediately or within a couple of years. It's That's kind of insane, and I kind of think that like humans weren't made to like expect that or to like experience that to that degree because now that the internet exists, it's like you're meeting new people and dropping other people all the time because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of people online are very much weirdos. But yeah, things get better. And you start to do things, you start to post without thinking about them. You start to say jokes that you would make with them without thinking about them. You start to get diagnosed with some fucking mental illness and you're just like, wow, that's cool. And you get to learn more about yourself without them. That part was a little bit niche because that's what happened to me. You get to come up with new jokes without them. You get to make new hobbies without them. And that is so special. Like, you get to work out and have a new body without them. You get to experiment with new makeup looks without them. You get to be unrecognizable without them. You get to glow up without them. You get to have a new internet presence without them. And that is the most freeing thing. And that's, I think, the most healing thing is the fact that you get to exist after them.